About Janice Ian. We were best friends in middle school. I know, right? It's so embarrassing. I don't even... Whatever. So then in 8th grade, I started going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous, but then he went to Indiana. And Janice was, like, weirdly jealous of him. Like, if I would blow her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, "Why didn't you call me back?" And I'd be like, "Why are you so obsessed with me?"
Frenemies can be funny on film, but not in real life. Essence.com contributor Felicia Scott is here with a look at Frenemies. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Okay, first of all, I had to look up what is a frenemy. So I looked it up and it said the definition: an enemy who pretends to be your friend, or someone who's a friend but happens to be a rival. Is that fair?
I think it's, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a friend and an enemy at the same time. A friend because they're there to support you, but an enemy because they cannot celebrate you.
Okay. All right. And I read this article in Business Week, and it said that there are so many frenemies in the workplace. That's where we come across them a lot. And I think the first thing you have to do really is identify who these people are. And do you usually know right off the bat? Can you tell if someone is a frenemy or not?
I think when you have a real question, is this my friend or my frenemy? I mean, that's a flag, because, most of our friendships we're very happy and comfortable in.
Right, true.
But a sure indicator is that a frenemy is when you're down, they are there. Your boyfriend dumps you, they're there on the phone, they have all times of day. But when it's time to celebrate you, when you want to move forward, when you want to progress in your vision, then they're nowhere to be found. They simply cannot celebrate you. They don't care, or they don't have the capacity.
So how do you deal with someone like that?
I mean, the first thing that you have to do is, number one, identify them. And then also, another thing about frenemies, your real friends, they tell you all the time, listen, you need to be careful with this one. They tell you. You don't want to see it, you don't want to accept it, but they tell you.
Do you confront them? Because I think that would be hard, especially in a workplace.
I think you do confront them if you really care about the relationship. And there's a way to confront. You don't go, listen, you always make me feel, or you can't use absolute terms.
Okay.
But you do have to have a conversation and say, sometimes I feel as if, own your emotions, own how you feel, so that they don't feel like you're placing the blame on them, but have a real conversation. You can't move forward without truth.
Right. You just got to be careful. Watch exactly what you say, because you don't want to make it worse than it already is.
Exactly. And then sometimes, it just doesn't work.
Right. Do you have to, can you correct them? Like when they do something, say, hey,
listen,
you know what?
I had a friend of me, and
Okay, so you've been there.
Oh, definitely.
We've all been there.
Every time I was around her, I left feeling bad about myself.
Oh.
I just always felt, insignificant, or I felt, I wasn't attractive enough. And so I had to learn how to correct her. Like, she would say things like, we all want to be a size 4. We all want this. We all want that. And I had to learn how to say to her, that's what you want. This is what I want. I am happy with who I am and what I have.
I am not you.
Exactly.
And then sometimes you have no choice but to cut them out of your life, huh?
Listen, cynics are like cyanide, and a frenemy is cyanide to your spirituality. They're cyanide to your emotional health. And if you want the best for yourself, you simply have to cut them off. You don't want to allow anyone to stand in the way of your greatness and of you becoming all that you can be.
Now, when you cut somebody off, that can be difficult too.
I mean,
what do you say about doing that? I mean, do you just do it? Do you just kind of pull back from the person a little bit, or do you say, hey, you know what? We're not friends. This isn't working anymore.
This is what I say. I always teach my clients, you have to discover your worth, do your work, and define your wealth. First, work on discovering your worth, because as you get stronger in self-identity and knowing who you are, it becomes easier to either have the distance in the relationship, or to simply cut it off. Don't focus so much on breaking off the relationship. Focus on becoming stronger, becoming better, because as you get stronger and better, it becomes more natural and germane to who you are.
Right, and you're filling up your life with people that you enjoy being around.
Exactly,
as
and you know what? Your positivity and confidence begins to repel them. They don't want to be around you because they can no longer do the things they used to do.
All right. Felicia Scott is also the author of the book Thrive, and we've got a link to her website on our website, myfoxdfw.com.